Hey guys, it's Haley. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Today we are doing one of my most favorite things to do ever. We are baking oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. You guys, these things are delicious. They're so fantastic. The recipe I'm using is generally following the recipe I found on kingarthurflour.com. It's the recipe that I think was their recipe of the year for 2015. So good. I make a couple of tweaks based on personal preference, which of course you can do as well. But essentially, that's the recipe we're following. I will definitely link it down below and detail any changes that I've made if you want to follow what I've done, or if you want to stick straight to that recipe, you're not going to go wrong. It is delicious. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. While our oven is heating up, we are going to gather our ingredients. I have 1 cup of light brown sugar. I have a half a cup of granulated sugar. I have 1 large egg plus another egg yolk at room temperature. I have a half tablespoon of vanilla. The recipe calls for a full tablespoon, but I don't really think it needs that much, so I just cut that in half based on my preference. I have 2 sticks or 1 cup or 16 tablespoons of butter. Again, I'm deviating from the recipe. I'm using salted butter. It calls for unsalted, but salted's what I have. I like using it. I've used it every time and it works great. Then I have 1 cup of rolled oats, deviating from the recipe again. It calls for, I believe, quick cooking or instant oats. I don't have those, and I've used these a billion times. They work so well. They add a great texture, so go with whatever you have, whatever you like. I like the rolled oats. I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Again, this is a King Arthur flour recipe, so they're gonna recommend their brand of flour, which is a great brand of flour, so excellent choice there, can't go wrong. Then I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder. The recipe just calls for 1. I like to use 2. I like my cookies a little bit extra fluffy, so 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then because I'm using salted butter, I'm not gonna add as much salt as they're asking for. They call for 1 teaspoon. I'm gonna add just a pinch. Also, to go with that, as my mix-ins, I have some chocolate chips and some mixed nuts. I have pecans and walnuts chopped, and I really am just gonna kind of eyeball this to see. I'm probably gonna do half of my batch with nuts, half without, because I know kids will be around and adults who don't like nuts. So I wanna give the option. I love them with chopped nuts. I think they're great. So now that we have our ingredients together, let's get to mixing. Here we go. To get started, we are going to cream together our sugars and our butter. Great. Okay. There it is. It's starting to look like cookie dough. I like it. You can see, looks like cookie dough. We're getting there. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add my vanilla. So my half tablespoon of vanilla and my eggs. she is. Excellent. So I have all of my wet ingredients together. Now it is time to start adding my dry ingredients. Some recipes for chocolate chip cookies, you will see that they require you to mix the dry ingredients together before putting them all into the wet ingredients. I usually don't do it. I've done it both ways and it really doesn't make a difference for me one way or the other. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start with my flour. There we go. All right. Now I can definitely see that I'm going to need to scrape my sides to make sure everything gets incorporated, because I can see some of the flour sticking to the sides and crumbling on the bottom, and we don't want that. So now is the time to add your baking powder, your baking soda, and the rest of that salt. So we'll go ahead and mix that in. Now I'm gonna add in my oats. 1 cup of oats. So that dough looks really good. I'm gonna wipe my hands off, and then we're gonna add in our chocolate chips and our nuts a little later on. Okay, now we are getting to the fun part. I have prepped 2 baking sheets. These are half sheets, cookie sheets with silicone baking mats on them. I have 2 of these. I love silicone baking mats. If you don't have any, I highly recommend you get them. They save on mess. They save your cookie, like underneath here, I've had these cookie sheets for a long time, and underneath they're still pretty nice because of these baking mats. Check them out, I'll link them below. Yeah, so now it is time for us to incorporate our chocolate chips and our nuts. First, I'm going to do the chocolate chips, and I'm going to make 1 pan of cookies with just chocolate chips. And then I'm gonna go add the mixed nuts and make another tray with the nuts. And then we'll put them in the oven together at the same time and let them bake together. So here we go. So here we are. I have 2 trays of 8 cookies apiece, so that's 16 cookies. That should be enough for our gathering tomorrow, but if it's not, we can definitely bake the rest of this dough. See, I still have at least 3 or 4 cookies left in this. So if I decide that we need more, I'll bake more, and if not, I will leave them for later. I'll probably go ahead and roll them into dough balls and stick them in the freezer on a tray, freeze them, and that way, when I pull them out, they're already set, and I can just cook them as needed or bake them as needed. So we're gonna put these in the oven and let them start getting ready. So excited. while those are in the oven, I went ahead and rolled the rest of my dough into balls. And as you can see, I ended up with 6 more cookies. That's pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those like this on this tray in the freezer. And what that does is it's gonna allow the dough to freeze into a ball, so that then after about an hour, I can take them out, put them in a Ziploc baggie, and pull them out one at a time without them sticking together quite as much and being one like doughy mess. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I will show you that after about an hour what they look like, going into a baggie and popping them back into the freezer, so that if you have leftover dough, you can do the same thing and have cookies on demand that are also homemade, which is pretty awesome. I'll see you when the timer goes off, which is in about 3 minutes. So sit tight. Wow, look at these things. They are monsters. Do those not look amazing? They look amazing. I'm so excited. They're gonna be nice and chewy in the middle. They are gonna be just, oh, I can't wait. So excited. So what I'm gonna do is I have a couple of cookie wraps that I am going to pull out. I'm gonna shovel those on there, let them cool a little bit, and then the moment of truth. We're gonna eat one, or maybe 2, or maybe a tray. I don't know, whatever we feel like, because cookies, right? So while our cookies are cooling, I went ahead and checked on our frozen dough balls, and they look really good. Like, they're frozen, right? So I can go ahead and put them in a Ziploc baggie, put them back in the freezer, so that the next time I want a cookie, I can take 1 or 2 or however many I want, and they're already ready for me to just put on a cookie sheet, stick in the oven, and enjoy. So let's bag them up, put them back in that freezer, and enjoy them later. Okay guys, moment of truth. I have my glass of milk. I'm ready to go. Let's see. Oh yeah. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh yeah. So good. These are my absolute favorite cookies to make. They're a crowd pleaser, they're a me pleaser, and they're a husband pleaser, which is most important. So if you make this recipe, I hope that you enjoy these cookies as much as I do. Please let me know if you try it down in the comments below. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, let me know. Again, I am no baking expert by any stretch, but I got these down. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video. And if you liked it and you want to see more like this, please click the like button below, and don't forget to subscribe and make sure that all bell is clicked so that you don't miss any of the new content that I have coming out on my channel. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of this cookie. Adios.